Hey, don't look now, but the Pistons have a game tonight. NBA Cup. If they beat Milwaukee, they advance to the knockout stage. Big game tonight for the Pistons. A chance to check in with their head coach, JB Bickerstaff. First time for us on this show. Coach, welcome.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on. But let me ask you this. What type of juice does it give you, and how important it is for this team in your first year to be actually playing for something? Does it mean something that you're playing for this NBA Cup?
Yeah, no, I think the league has done a great job of creating buzz around it. But what you realize is, like, if you give NBA players an opportunity to compete for anything, as competitive as they are, they're going to raise the stakes. And I think that's what we've seen with the Cup. Our guys are in it all the way. Yesterday's practice, guys were getting after it. And, the conversation is we want to get it done. And, for us, being able to play meaningful basketball for our young guys in particular just helps us grow and helps the journey that we're on right now. So we're excited about it. The guys are going to lay it on the line. We're going to compete and have some fun.
Yeah, I think on the outside, people were trying to figure out, okay, how does this work? What's it going on? I think even last year in the league, there was an adjustment period, but it does create interest pre-Christmas Day. That's typically when a lot of people start to get into the NBA, but you've got something going right away out of the gate. And has that helped you get buy-in just in general from this team?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been great all in all. Obviously, like, wanting to improve, but the way that they've bought into each other and competing for one another, like, that's been the most important and fun part about it, honestly. Is like, guys really care about what's going on, and they want to improve, they want to be better. But this Cup, to have the, success in the Cup early, to put us in this position, like, it's added juice to the guys and their belief that we can do this.
When you talk about that belief, obviously you've got to win games to be able to start to have that belief in this very –
that win, they made a run in the third quarter, and instead of, falling apart as some young teams do, our guys kind of got it together and went out and increased the lead in the fourth quarter and able for us to win it. But, from training camp all the way through, like, I've seen these guys individually get better and seen them get better as a group as well.
John mentioned 9 wins. Not your fault, but it took a lot longer last year for this team to get to 9 wins. Took until February 27th. So there's already been measurable growth for this team. And I think defensively maybe is the area people have seen the biggest jump. What's been the key to getting that area of this team so much better so quickly?
Defense is a lot about what you can control. And so getting guys to actually buy in to that end of the floor is the most important, right? Because you can put the effort into it. You can take the challenges, the one-on-one challenges and those things. That's on you. And then, we mix in some schemes and things like that. But our defense is based on guys being selfless, and it's always a 5-man thing. We never leave a guy out on an island. And I think when you do that, it helps build team. It helps to build chemistry. And that's what we're seeing from our guys right now.
When you mention, hey, you put something on the line, you make it competitive, and these guys are all bought in. And as fans, like that, we just want to see you guys play for something. And the NBA Cup early on in the season has given us that. How much of a conversation with the young team? Because you look at the conference right now, I know there's so much time to still play. There's so many more games. But with the young team, how much do you talk about, hey, if the season were to end now, we're in the play-in tournament, as just in regards to how important every single night is?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our approach is we take it day by day. And, I hate to coach speak to you guys, but it's just so true. Like, we play so many games and have so many practices that, your focus and your approach has to be consistent. It can't be, some days we're this, some days we're that. And so our focus is like every single day, every moment is an important moment for us. So you don't lose those, right? You don't lose games because you're forward thinking or thinking about the past. Like, our focus is always on what's happening right now. And then, the big picture will take place once we get a little deeper into the season.
Okay, so one day at a time. What do you want to see from your team tonight? What is it that the goal, obviously the objective is to win, but what do you need to see from your team to give you that chance?
You know what? I want to see our guys just lay it all on the line. I want them to compete and play as hard as they possibly can. We want them to do it together. Our team is, a sum of its parts. We're not a one-man gang by any means. So the more we play together, the more we sacrifice for one another. But like for us, the joy is in the complete just competition, right? Like the loose balls, the gritty things, all the dirty work that, people are uncomfortable doing. Our goal is to try to bring teams to the mud. Like we feel comfortable in the mud. How many other teams can do that? And that's what we're looking for our guys to do tonight. And, that's what they've done on most nights that we've played and given ourselves a chance to win down the stretch.
Talking to Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff and Cade Cunningham. You got to see his game from afar coaching against him. Now you've coached him this season. We talk about him. Is he a number one? Is he a number two on a title team? What have you seen from him? How much more does he still even have that hasn't been tapped into yet?
Cade he's an absolute stud. He's got the talent, obviously, on the floor. But, like, when I watch him, there's so many small things that he does that shows, he is a true leader and that people want to play with him and play for him. Whether it's finding the open guy, multiple times, showing that he believes in them, giving them trust, the conversations that he has, not only the easy ones, but the hard conversations and the willingness to stand up for, what we're building here and what he believes is the right thing. And then we've seen him take challenges on both ends of the floor. So, he's still got room to grow, obviously, like all these young guys do. But he's definitely one of the guys, that can be the guy on a really good contending basketball team.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but I want to follow up with you. How do we get him some more foul calls without you getting a fine from the officials and from the league office? How do we get him to the free throw line more often?
That's the tough part, right? And I try my best publicly to be careful about what I say, but during the games, we're working the referees as best we possibly can. But, it'll come with time. The more wins we get, the more recognition this team gets, the more respect we earn throughout the league, you'll start to get those calls.
The question coming out of the last couple of years was, can Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey be on the floor at the same time? Can they be a part of a team that's going to compete in the future for championships? You've seemed to find a way. How do these two players complement each other while they're on the field or on the court?
It's pretty interesting to watch it, like stylistically how different their games are, but how well they match up, right? Like Cade plays at a really controlled pace. J.I.'s strength is playing with his speed. So, like, the combination of the two kind of puts defenses off balance because if one of them's playing in the pick and roll, the style is completely different than the other one. So, the big guy or the guard who's in it defending them has to catch a different cadence and a different rhythm. So, but also, like, they want to play together, and they know how to find each other and put each other in positions of strength. So, the combination has been good so far. Like everything, we're working to get better at it, but I think they've gotten off to a really good start.
I think about the game where he closed out against Toronto, no Cade Cunningham, and that's not a Jaden Ivey that we saw last year. I don't know what you guys have been able to do, but it's been fun to watch him get unlocked. Why do you think the gap or the leap?
The ones I liked, the ones that were successful, it was all about relationships. How have you been able to build relationships with all the guys on this roster?
It's something that, us as a coaching staff really work at, to be honest with you. It's conversations, it's text messages, it's getting to know their families, it's getting to know what motivates them. It's earning their trust, it's earning their respect, but it's something that we fight for on a daily basis. It's important to us that we touch our guys every single day. It's a good morning, it's a handshake, it's a conversation, it's a hug. but it's literally every single day something that we put the time in so that we can build those relationships, because you know it, like if you feel someone actually cares about you as a human being, you're willing to go the extra mile and do more for them. So we want these guys to know that they're not just, pieces on a chessboard, that they're human beings that have real feelings that we genuinely care about and want to build real relationships with. And it translates to how they play for you on the floor.
He's Pistons head coach JB Bickerstaff. Pistons 3-0 in their group play. Big game tonight in the NBA Cup. Last thing, have your eyes got adjusted to these courts yet?
It's hard. It's when you're actually at the game, it's different. But when you have to watch the film of the game, it makes it really difficult to kind of lock in on. Some teams like blend into the floor with their uniforms and courts. So it's been pretty interesting, but it's drawn attention, and that's what the league is about, trying to gain extra attention and grow the game and the fan base. JB,
it's good to talk to you. Good to finally speak with you, and we'll be doing this again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Great talking to you guys. Thank you, guys.
Pistons head coach JB Bickerstaff. It's 97.1.